Peace and black power, everybody. I want to welcome you to another NCRBGG Productions. Tonight we got a great show lined up. The name of today's show is Enough is Enough. I mean, enough is enough. We want to talk about some of the current events. We want to talk about, a lot of the viral videos that's been going around on social media and different platforms. We've been seeing that police officers have been yoking up black people, using the COVID-19 as an excuse, of them not wearing masks, using the fact that they're not social distancing, just using the police are to just attack and harm black people like they have always been doing. Then we have the video that's circulating of the brother in Georgia that was executed by these white supremacists down there on the brother Ahmaud Avery, stuff that's going on. And, so we just wanted to sit down and have a live discussion to talk about it and also to talk about some solutions, implement some solutions, something that we can all use moving forward to try to minimize. And I'll leave it at that. So with that, I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to introduce themselves one at a time. So with that being said, you can unmute your mic, introduce yourself to the family. Then I'm going to ask a set of questions and we're going to move from there.
All right, so right back. Peace, everybody. My name is Nabat Kafef Reye. As a York, I'm a Sabian, and I'm just looking forward to contributing to the discussion.
And I'm Brother Shaka Zulu. I'm Brother Shaka Zulu out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Sister Mona, she had invited me on, and I'm fighting with y'all, brother.
Right. Peace. This is Neb Amire, representative, New Apia. All in all, that's what we are. That's what I am, and most of y'all know who I am, and I'm a fan.
Peace, Rahul Bhat. I'm Ramesu Amunre, and I'm residing in Virginia Beach right now, but I'm.
What's going on? It's mouse to you, brother. I'm out of VA also, so just here for good discussion and to learn and to grow.
Greetings, kings. We have a supermoon out there tonight. And so I'm Mona Epps Gilliam. You can find me on Facebook at Mona Epps, and I switch up. But I just love you guys, and I just can't wait to see what we're going to talk about. Look forward to it. Hey, Shaka.
How you doing, sister?
All right. If everybody have introduced themselves, I want to say peace to the queen and peace to everybody that's on the panel. And with that being said, we're going to jump right into this. We all have been watching social media. It's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. And, I decided that I think we wanted to sit here and have a conversation to discuss what's going on, to discuss some of the strategies, and just talk about it in general. Right now, it seems like it's straight up open season, and it's hunting season for people of color. It has always been like this. So let me just make that statement. It's always been like that. So it's nothing new. But it seems as if right now, the coronavirus, you have people not working. You have people in the house. I mean, it's a lot of things that's going on. And behind all of this, we have brothers that's being lynched, and nothing is being done about it. And with brothers being lynched, just straight up, it's like just a posse mob, like a scene from the 60s where we're gonna hang this brother, and ain't nothing being done about it. And it's getting to a point where enough is enough. It's been enough. And as enemies of war, because I feel like we are prisoners of war here in America. Every time we walk outside, we have the possibility of being a hashtag. No matter of how we're acting, we could be in the right or we could be in the wrong. We have instances where people haven't really done anything wrong and losing their life. A brother out there just jogging, exercising, loses his life just because he's jogging. And it gets to the point where when are we gonna say, you know what, we're not gonna take this no more? Like, give me freedom or give me death. They say that the price of freedom is death.
It's death.
So,
hey, thank you, brother.
So if we are living under tyranny, we're dying anyway. We're being killed and slaughtered anyway. Why do we keep waiting for the death to impact us closely? Why do we have to wait and react? and wait for, well, you know, if it happened to somebody on my family, if it happened in my bloodline, then I'm gonna turn up. But why we gotta wait? Like, what's the problem? What are we thinking? Like, what is holding us back? This is some of my questions that I want to ask. Like, what is holding us back? You know, what is our thought process? You know, what can be done? Are y'all fed up? You know, I'm reaching mic and just jump right in.
Yo, this is Master You. I'm gonna hit a couple of things and I'm gonna shut up, man. You know, first and foremost, again, peace to everyone. You know, I'm here with with the nation of 5% gods on earth. And with that being said, you all know that every man can't be God, but anybody can be a 5% as long as you speaking truth. You know the truth. You know what the truth is. If anybody knows anything about the nation of gods on earth. But anyway, one thing I want to say is this, man. I love black people. I really, really do. I love us all. Even those of us who are blind, deaf, and dumb, because I was once a part of that myself. And sometimes it can be very, very hard to reach out people, and it makes us far at the door. We have to ask ourselves, am I going to lose my life today? And we shouldn't have to live in a world like that, period. But that's pretty much what it is. If my daughter go out, my wife or my mama, my son, there's a chance that one of them could lose their life, you know. And some of them say, well, your son's too young, your daughter's too young. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember what state it was, a kid had a toy gun and he got shot anyway. So there was no remorse for, age limit or whatever it is. If you got black skin, if you think you too light skin, that's a lie. If you think you too brown, that's a lie. If you think you too black, you black, period, use a nigga to them. They're gonna do all they can to you, point blank, period. And until we understand and decide that all of us are family. You get what I'm saying? Like Stuart should be my Stuart. That's your brother there, even because we all come from the same tree. That's my brother. We may not talk every day while I'm just meeting him, but at the end of the day, that's my brother. Until we understand that, then we will always be in the shape that we're in. Another thing you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to die for? Now, I know none of us are willing to die just out of no random reason, but what are you willing to die for? Like if that was your son or your mother, your brother, what would you do? You ask yourself, well, we have a degree in the 1 to 40, and it talks about, and it's the knowledge degree, it's the 11th degree. And the question is, it says, will you set them home and wait for a mystery God to bring you food? Now, I ain't gonna go through the whole degree, but in that part, in that degree, it talks about how black people as a whole have tried the mystery God. They tried them for food, you know what I'm saying? They tried them, for bread. They tried them for shelter. They tried them for all these things. They ain't got nothing in return. So how long must you pray for somebody to change something for you? And this is no bash to Christianity. I'm talking about the any God, period, that you pray to. Why am I going to pray to you and no condition for me changes, no matter what I do, no matter how many tithes I pray, how much tithes I pay, how many people I go out in the street and help, how many times I pray on my knees, how many times a day, nothing changes for me. You get what I'm saying? If nothing changed for me, so inevitably what is being created, and I'm saying this, and you all may agree or disagree, what is happening, man, is you are going to create a group of people who are going to be extremely hateful, and it's going to be your fault. It's going to be your fault. And I'm telling you, man, when whatever world get dropped down on whomever, it's going to be sad, man. It's going to be very, very sad. It is, because every man and every woman is not going to sit back and allow this stuff to happen to them or happen to somebody's son. Think about that was your son, that was your daughter. What would you do? I ain't saying going out and retaliate. That's not what I'm saying. You can destroy people by taking money out of their plate, by saying, you know what, from now on, you know what I'm saying, we're not going to shop at Walmart because they support this police station, or they support these people. For now, this is what we're going to do. Until we all band together and become of that mind, then nothing going to change, man. And my very last point is this, and it goes back to what I was saying about prayer. Because one of my friends said something the other day and said, well, Mario, all we got to do is give it up to Jesus. No disrespect to Jesus at all. If there's anybody up here who's a Jesus lover, this is no disrespect to you. But I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I'm going to pass the mic. In actuality, if we died and went to heaven, I guarantee you about 20% of us will have beef with Jesus. We want to fight him on spot. You mean to tell me that you let my mama get raped and maimed, and you sat up here the entire time with all the power in the world, and you never intervened? Man, F you. I'm finna bust your head wide open. And that is facts. That is and if I'm lying, please somebody say, Master, you wrong. Based on what I said and based on the conditions of the world and how they've been for the last how many 100 years towards black people. If you black and you went to heaven and you saw Jesus, and if you don't get down with him on the spot, something wrong with you. Something is very wrong with you. If I'm lying, please put me in my place. I'm a humble man. I can take correction. With that being said, man, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, peace, brother. I agree with a lot that you said. What you were talking about to me, is dealing with equality. And I think you say you from the 5% nation, right? So you know today's math is dealing with equality. So now, if not only that, right? Because the sister got on Mona, she said something about the full moon. So I want to go to what you said. You talked about the 1 to 40, right? We call that the knowledge culture cipher degree, right? And in that knowledge degree, it say, who made Holy Quran and Bible? Tell us how long ago, and why does Islam renew its history? So when we talk about the renewal, that's where we at right now. You know, the sister talked about the moon being full, and when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planet and love will steer the stars. You ever heard that? This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. So we're in a new time frame right now. So now it's about doing, but it's about doing with love and respect, right? And when we establish that, right, in degrees, then we can begin to move forward. Because, you know, one of the things that have continuously held us back as a people is that we have this division amongst ourselves, where, you know, Muslims don't like, you know, people from the Moors. 5%ers don't get along with Muslims. Christians don't get along with Muslim Israelites. You know, we're so divided amongst ourselves. When we go back and look at the platform of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, you'll see that Garvey was able to, you know, pull the masses of the people together because he didn't deal with religion. See, we gotta, if we're gonna move together as a people, because we could do it separately with our own groups. We can get with our own groups, but, you know, so far that hasn't worked. That hasn't worked. We have to, at some point, come to the realization that if we keep religion in the forefront, we're never going to do this thing. You know, we have to deal with cosmic law, because that never changes. That never changes. And when we begin to look at cosmic laws as a way to determine which way to flow, then we're dealing with cosmology. We're dealing with the constellation of Aquarius, because this is the age we're in, where the knowledge is being poured forth at such a rapid pace. So at some point, you know, we have to sit down face to face, you know, and come up with a plan, because we're not going to get a plan across on this Zoom. We're not going to do that, because all the channels are open. All the channels are open. So I'm saying, at some point, you know, we need to start talking about solutions, you know, because solutions are very important. Well, we can talk about, you know, where we at, you know, with killings and things of that nature that's happening to our people, and, you know, there's an underlying factor to that. There's an underlying factor. There's many issues right now, you know, that's troubling the world. Issue of overpopulation of the planet. Talk about, you know, the political system and how they're using, you know, incarceration as a means to develop an employment, you know, for the outside world while they slave the inside world, and they come up with strategies to pull you in the penal system. You know, these are strategies, and we all have to be aware of those things so that we can move forward on the same cadence. Because if we're not marching to the same beat of the drummer, then we're going to be confused. So it's hope that at some point, you know, we can start off, you know, and begin to build. But, you know, it needs to be where we don't put religion in the equation. I mean, and sometimes people can't help but to do that, because, you know, you talked about Jesus, brother, and that's a, you know, we can get into, you know, it's a corrupt form of the word Joshua or Yeshua or Yehoshua. You know what I mean? So once we start talking religion, and, you know, then we're gonna find that we're gonna slip apart. We're gonna fall apart. But the brother mentioned earlier that he said that he followed the illustrious Malachi Z. York. Malachi Z. York put a book out called Leviathan 666, where he talked about this very time period that we're actually going through right now. And they talked about how we got there. They talked about how the people that we're going to be dealing with, you know, the Luciferians, the Tamahu, right? These are individuals that we need to recognize, right? So that we can have a plan in motion, you know, through peace and love. That's going to guide the stars. That's all I want to say. Thank you for listening.
Can I speak, or do I have to wait? Or I don't know if I, because I raised my hand and I don't know how it works. So can I speak?
Jump right in.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna deal with the subject matter, and so everything that the brothers done said already is real talk. We keeping our eyes off, like everything was all good, but I don't think that was good enough to deal with the subject matter at hand. Because we kind of got into some religious, other terminology and things like that, which is all good. And I just want, I'm going right now. I just hung up on him. And so look, what I want to say right now has nothing to do with the Christian 5%er, or because realize what Malcolm X said, like the brothers kind of spoke up on it. Like our belief systems does and religion does separate each other. In 1944, this happened. You know, and it's kind of getting away from what the original thought process was of the original conversation when the conversation started. And so what I'm going to do right now, no matter what I believe in, and everybody, and look, I'm gonna hang up on people. I don't know why they keep trying to call me as soon as I got to talk.
Yeah.
As soon as I talk, they deciding to call me. And so look, but no matter what, I'm gonna hang up on. And so what I'm focused on is how if somebody like, according to Dr. Jansen of Minnesota, and according to the CDC, for each COVID-19 diagnosis is 13 racks. You get 13 racks for diagnosing somebody with COVID-19. But you get 39 racks, 3 times the 13 racks, if you put them on a ventilator. Now, I'm no doctor. I didn't go to NC, because I'm here in North Carolina. I didn't go to NC State. I might have went to the penitentiary state. And so something isn't right.
Hey, bro,
and so
bro.
When somebody, hold on. So I'm not saying that COVID-19 ain't real. It's another strand of a virus. And it blows my mind how I see degrees and above, and we in the damn spring, summertime, about to be in the summertime. And so that's another story. And so this is where I'm going with it. So if you diagnose somebody with COVID-19, you get, according to the CDC, this is no allegedly, this is an actual fact. I put it on my children's life. This is I'll die for this information. Now, it's one thing that's my opinion, because beauty is in the eye of the saying right now, I'll die for this shit. And so for according to the CDC, and Peter Jansen, the doctor and the senator of Wisconsin, any COVID-19 diagnosis on a ventilator is 39 racks. Last time I checked, 39 plus 13 is $52,000 that's tax-free. So you telling me I could practice racism with a license to kill? Now I can start slowly dying from the COVID-19. So basically what they doing is double gunshot blast to the head, COVID-19. You die from masturbating for Mickey and Minnie Mouse pornography, COVID-19. You got drowned in a swimming pool by Donald Duck, COVID-19. And so I'm being sarcastic with it, brothers and sisters. I'm being sarcastic, but I'm being real with it. It's something that's not being explained. It's something that's being done, and they're giving incentives and license to kill with diagnosis of the COVID-19. And so now what you're looking at, most of the people that's dying, they go up in the hospitals, but they don't leave out the hospitals. And they die from the ventilators. They're getting too much oxygen. And they're not in no rooms with windows with fresh air and fresh oxygen. So this is no, are you Islam? This is not no, are you Christian? This is not what happened in 1544 AD. This is real talk. Anything that black folks are the only group of people, turn, draw, four, skip, and reverse. Black folks are the only group of people at the poker table with Uno cards. Draw, four, skip, and reverse. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
Get him.
I hear what you're saying, brother. Because I didn't know that this was the topic tonight, but I was just speaking on what you had said earlier. But the reality of it is, anytime you have an illness, whether it's mental health or it's physical, they go by what they call the Diagnostic Statistical Manual. And right now, it's what they call the DSM-5. So that means that there's codes to every diagnosis. So all hospitals all over, when you come into the hospital, and they give you a diagnostic code for COVID-19, of course you're gonna get 11,000, right? And if you get on a ventilator, that's 39 racks. So now,
and look, the brother, real quick, 10 seconds, brother, 10 seconds. I don't mean to impede on what you're saying, Elder, but I'm piggybacking off what you just said. The brother in Chicago, I was listening to what he was saying on the radio. His mother died. She didn't die, but she had a stroke. She was in a hospital for 3 days until they found out they were treating her for COVID-19 for 3 days, but she originally got called to the hospital because of a stroke. That's all I wanted to say, brother.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, brother. And what I was really getting to is the fact, that this diagnosis is bailing out a lot of the hospitals because the hospital system in New York City was failing. They was about to close several hospital wards because they couldn't financially keep them. But right now, this COVID virus has failed the hospital system out. Now, when you really think about it, it's about capitalism because it's about the money. They had a movie out years ago called Coma, and Coma was a movie where they were dealing with body parts on the underground market, which they still doing that. And what they would do is if they needed a heart and you came into the hospital for whatever the reason, they would send you to this operating room called OR8. And OR8 was set up that when they put you on the operating table, that you once they put you under the anesthesia, you wouldn't come back. You would die on the operating table, and they would snatch that organ. Right now, that's the thing that's going on. They're still messing around, with organs and selling them on the black market because none of these people that's dying in the hospital that they're killing, a lot of them, right? They're telling the people you can't see your loved ones, so you don't know what they're doing with the body. You don't know what they're doing with the organs. So, the reality of it is, that you cannot allow them to use fear to coerce us into putting on a face mask, putting on gloves, living a particular way, because you're right. Sunshine and a good diet, a good healthy immune system will get rid of anything. You understand? Because your body is more alkaline than acidic. Once you start, eating wrong and you have preconditions because you have diabetes or whatever, then you're more apt to get sick like anybody else. And in fact, they have more flu deaths than they did all of last year than what they had with the coronavirus. So people are dying from the flu, period. And we ain't talking about the corona, but like you said, anyone who comes into the hospital now, I don't care if you have asthma, if you have whatever you have, and you die or they kill you on the low, right? It's a corona death because it brings money to the hospitals, to the hospital system, and we got to see that the bottom line, when we talk about what the solution is about proper diet.
Just like diagnosing children with ADHD, just like diagnosing children with other alternatives in school systems. And Mona know what I'm talking about because she was a principal. Just like diagnosing these babies with these certain problems.
This is Dedan Wakiri. I just like to touch on a couple of points about some couple of things that was being said around the COVID crisis. What the elder touched on when he said it was capitalism, is like, that's it. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's the capitalist system that was built by white power that is causing this crisis to go beyond the point where it's uncontrollable. And that is because they put profits over people. They don't care about the people that is becoming sick. And they are willing to let people die. They actually said this on like news, like, they're actually, willing to let people die from a crisis to save an economy. And that's the thing that we must always revert back to, is always pointing out, this capitalist system that is killing people without any remorse. Because I don't think it's statistically accurate to say that the hospitals are benefiting from the COVID crisis, because in all actuality, a lot of them are going through a lot of financial ruin because of the COVID crisis, because we're living in an administration that is not setting up healthcare. The healthcare industry is not for people. It's not for black or brown or other colonized people. You see what I'm saying? It's only for the elite. So the healthcare system in America is trash. They don't put any money towards that. So instead of bailing out the bank, what this administration had chose to do was bail out corporations, big corporations. And that's what a lot of the time this was money is allocated to. It's to people that can keep the financial gain of this country alive while people continue to suffer under any kind of condition. And so when it comes to the crisis, I think it's very important that we don't put a negative line out there, that we always follow statistics and material facts, because the fact of the matter is, a lot of people that's dying on the ventilator, when you get to that point, really, it's like, that's the point of no return, when you get on the point of the ventilator, because it's a respiratory virus that attacks the respiratory. So when you get put on that kind of system right there, it's kind of a loss for you anyway. You see,
And look, brother, real fast, piggybacking up what you just saying, it's not, ventilators are good. Like, I'm not gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, ventilators are very good. It's just, you got a lot of people in the hospitals listening to these doctors. I'm no doctor. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna sit up there and put my people's lives on my hand because I went to YouTube, some stuff like that. But hey man, you got a beautiful daughter, man. Is that your daughter?
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Man, look, you just messed my mind up, man. You got a beautiful daughter, man. And so, it's not it's not necessarily what I'm saying. It ain't like all doctors know I'm killing them. I'm gonna kill them. It's the procedure and the process. Everybody don't need no ventilator when you understand, because COVID-19 is true, it's real,
Yeah,
but it's another form of the flu
it's a
virus.
different version of it. We got to understand that this is a different strain of a flu virus. This is a strain that is unrecognizable. It's alien to our body. This is not a natural thing that has occurred in our body before. That is why it's able to run rampant.
No, listen to what I'm saying. I don't even want to get caught up into that conversation. Not saying that you're wrong with what you're saying, brother, because you're right with what you're saying. What I'm saying is I don't want to get caught up into the media aspect of it. I don't want to get, because most of the people that's suffering from it is black folks. And when you go into the statistics and when you look at the CDC, the numbers is cooked. The numbers is cooked. It ain't like people ain't dying. Most people that's dying from it has got compromised immune systems. Children don't suffer from it. It's people, it's elderly people, but it's also people that's getting caught up into the hospital. So I don't want to come off like I'm a scientist, like I'm a doctor, like I read a book, like I know everything. It's just the numbers is cooked, brother. That's all I'm saying. The numbers is cooked.
And I agree. To finish my point, I agree with what you're saying. It's like, well, we have to be careful not to be caught up in things that seem conspiratorial. You see what I'm saying? Because the reason that so many black people are succumbing from this virus at the rate that we are is because of how this system as a whole operates anyway. We are the majority of people who have less access to health, to proper food and things like that. Like everybody,
most at the medical system. I mean, the murder system. We suffer the most at the murder system.
If everybody had the ability to eat right, more people probably would than what's happening right now. But because of of how we was groomed from slavery to eat scraps
and the 12-step brainwash program, and the 12-step brainwash program called school, and it taught us the bullshit food pyramid. We're eating cheese and eating meats, and black folks and other people don't have the same diets that we should have. So we was indoctrinated with the food pyramid. We was indoctrinated with vaccines. We was indoctrinated with we don't even speak our own language. And so as a result, we suffer the most at anything that happened wrong. We get the brunt of the end of the stick. That's all I'm saying.
This is nothing but a conspiracy. And that's my it's not even an opinion. I'm listening. And one thing about this COVID-19, it's not one layer, it's multi-layered. Do you not think that they knew that black people had more immune systems that are compromised? Did you not know that they thought about the fact that we don't have health care? They knew that. They always know exactly, they look ahead. So this is nothing. I think you're blinded to think it's not a conspiracy. That's exactly what it is. This is going back to eugenics. It's going back to eugenics. It's going to get back to capitalism, is what you all talked about. It is multi-layer. It is not one layer. And they know who's going to fall victim in that pyramid. So it is nothing but total conspiracy. When that 5G hit the way it is, it's going to be another layer. So they have thought about this since when? Like 1930 and 40, 50. They know exactly what they're doing. It is nothing but a conspiracy.
Well, see, a conspiracy is like almost like a belief. It's something that you can't feel, see, and touch. And see, when we do on those things, we sometimes become inaccurate in our analysis of a situation. Because when you say things like a 5G is spreading COVID, it's like we can question that because we know that there's lesser countries that don't have 5G that are still dealing with 4G.
That's not what I said.
And they still have COVID in their country.
That's not what I said.
We're taking the direction away from what it is that's exactly attacking black people. And that's the U.S. capitalist system that was built off oppression, built off slavery, built off the genocide.
And COVID is a part of it. And look, brother, you're right with what you just said. Everything that you're saying, you're not wrong with what you're saying. It's just you got to put it into proper perspective.
Hey, what I did was I muted everybody. Look, because I gotta get control because we don't went off point. Shaka said something earlier, and I'm gonna use what he said to piggyback. He said that when we play poker, we always come to the table throwing out Uno cards. And I'm gonna use this analogy because the purpose of this show, we supposed to be talking about the unnecessary killings that's going on of the black people in America. The show started off with talking about the brother down there in Georgia that got killed. And somehow this has morphed into the COVID, which I don't mind. if we want to have the COVID discussion, I have no problem with having the COVID discussion. But right now, we're wanting to discuss what's going on in the community as far as these racist white folks that are just gunning our people down, and there are no repercussions to what's happening as far as that. And we can use COVID. I brought COVID up because I said when they put Black people as the face of the COVID virus, what they basically was doing was sanctioning. It's the new stop and frisk now. They can use COVID now as a reason. If you don't have a mask, the police now can interrogate you because you don't have a mask on. If you're not social distancing. Now, that's what we're going to talk about, but exactly getting into the COVID viruses, I feel like we're mixing apples and oranges because I wanted to deal with what's going on as far as not only the police killings, the Black on Black killings that's going on, and what these white folks done in Georgia. That's the purpose of the show. So I have to get back in. And also, we're going to have a time limit because I give each person 5 minutes to speak. So there's nobody cutting over nobody else. So everybody has an opportunity to get their point across and exhaust it. So that's what we're going to do. So what I want to do, I want Deedon to finish, because Deedon had never finished with what he was talking about. But Deedon, can we pivot this away from the coronavirus and get back to the topic at hand, dealing with these racist cops and racist white people and some of these racist Black people, because we got racist Black people that's killing Black people too, that don't make no sense. We need to talk about all of that. That's what I wanted to talk about. But Deedon, it's on you, brother. You can unmute your mic. Hey, Didi, you can unmute yourself, bro. I set it up so everybody can unmute themselves.
Yeah, I am.
No, you good. I hear you.
All right, so what? All right, so we changing the conversation.
We want to deal with the killings that's going on. I mean, I don't care about the COVID, but it has to tie in to the killings that's going on right now.
Right. Okay. But I mean, as far as the killings, I think that we all know that that is a quintessential feature of this country. It's nothing new, and it is something that's baked into the very foundation of this country. So when you hear people say,
hey, I can't hear you. Did he get me? There you go. I hear you now. You had timed out for a minute.
What did I leave off at?
When you was talking about the country and how they always been killing us, basically.
Yes. So they it's something that will continue to happen until we really understand that we owe this country no loyalty. The only thing that we can do is resist and organize our way in a way that we build a contingent of forces that bring the proper amount of demands to the masses of Black people, and really continue fight, because what happened to the brother that was jogging happened to Trayvon Martin. It's the exact same thing. What happened to the brother that was jogging happened to the brother that had the police run up in his house and shoot him. So there's nowhere in this country that we're safe from any kind of terror, whether it's from the state, whether it's from the police, or whether it's vigilantes on the street that have a license to kill as well, because that's another feature that's tied into this system, is the ability for mainstream white society to be able to police Black people. That is where the police originated from. It originated from a fear of Black people being able to rise up from a position of slavery and go in master's house and start slitting throats. So in order to quell that fear, they had to create a system in place that keeps watch over Black people, that keeps Black people in control, and that will use any amount of aggression or violence if we show any sign of resistance. So that is something that has always been a part of this country and will continue to be a part of this country until we make a decision to really fight back.
And I wanted to chime in on what the brother was just saying. And so just focusing on, since you got our mind right, brother, so I'm focusing on the brother that was jogging, right? And so I think about how the brother was jogging through the neighborhood, and how people feel so freely, like how these white folks feel so freely to do to us as if there's no repercussions. Like they automatically know the outcome. Like I call it George Zimmerman. And so is a fear, is a psychological inside fear because of depopulation. And not just because of the depopulation, because the numbers of the white folks is being, they're not being born as much. And so they know that their numbers is going down. So you have an inner psyche. You have something that's going on. Oh, these Hispanics, these Mexicans that's coming over here. Oh, these blacks, you know, and we being played off against each other. And so what you see as a result, you see in their mindset, you see justice in their mindset. What is justice inside of a white person, a white racist mindset? Maybe justice is shooting your black ass down. And I know if there's no repercussions there. And I know that your people don't give a damn because they worried about what time empire and power come on at night. So it's like, I look back at it like, okay, we on a team with a coach that's coaching for somebody else's team. We on a team with motherfuckers that's point shaving, people that's point shaving, that's on our own team. We the only group of people at the poker table with Uno cards. And so what I realize is we're behind enemy lines. And most people don't understand, most black men especially don't understand how war works, because black women, if we compare this with black women and black men, black women are they're in general population, and black men we're on lockdown. Black women in general population and black men on lockdown. And so what I'm saying is, there's no care of life. We don't care about life. Like, we've been indoctrinated not to care, and nobody else on the planet don't give a fuck about us. Just like the sister in Michigan, she got beat on by the Chinese people. The next day they took 50% off the weeds, and you had the line going across the damn corner. So when you look back at it, you have to wonder, is it the coronavirus or is it the coronavirus? And so it's just, we got to understand how war works. I ain't gonna talk too much, but we got to understand how war works and how somebody would shoot a brother down in the streets. And with no repercussion and no care, they know that they're not gonna get charged with it. And even if they did, they know it's gonna be a hung jury or some BS, because justice to them is just shooting us down in the streets.
Update. They did get locked up though. If for anybody that don't know, it happened like a couple of hours ago. They did get locked up.
That's not just.
Which don't mean that.
You got a lot of people that's not gonna get convicted.
Right. Yeah.
And then they may call Al Sharpton in. But the other piece I would like to say, of course, we talked about this last night. This is kind of a, we didn't know we was gonna wake up and it was another case. But one of the things, Stuart, you had mentioned, a lot of people had talked about their perspective yesterday, and I didn't get to share this, but you talked about, Stuart, recording. Stop recording. We got to start standing up and fight. And my whole piece, I think that we, in our minds, we think that recording is going to stop. I mean, it's kind of like Dita said, it didn't just start. It's been happening forever and ever. Social media allows us to see more of it. But I actually think that's the goal. They don't care if we record, because it set paranoia in the way they want it and fear just the way they want it, to me. Now, that's a whole nother psychological piece that we think, oh, we're going to show everyone and something's going to stop. It doesn't seem like it's stopping to me. I really actually believe that they don't care. It sets a whole nother tone that you're still oppressed. No matter what you do, you will still get killed. And I'm still that white power, and let that be known, and see what happens at the end. So I actually think the opposite of what I think the masses might believe is happening just because we're recording.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else want to say something? All right. Well, this matters to you, man. A lot of people hit on a lot of great points, and I know I spoke earlier, but to me, at the end of the day, it boils down to one thing. In our nation, we have something we say, I want for my brother what I want for myself. And until we understand that, what I want for myself, I want the same thing for somebody else that look like me. Because I should, as you being black, I should automatically understand your plight irregardless if regardless of what neighborhood I grew up in, if I'm coming from a millionaire family or if I'm coming from the slums. Being that you black, you and I should same some commonality. Whatever I want for myself will be very, very hard because, like the brother alluded to, we put more value into Jordans or looking good, trying to stump people on Instagram or whatever the situation may be. We worry about people liking us as opposed to raising that community. You get what I'm saying? And so, like, instead of taking that $200 throwing it towards Jordan to a pair of Jordans, why not we take that money and invest it to our community in terms of like jobs and things of that nature? And until we start respecting ourselves, ain't no racial people gonna respect us. Because even black people don't respect black people. We don't want to live in a neighborhood with each other. We see a black man come across the street, he just got out of work, got his hoodie on. We'll take our bag and we'll clinch it. Get what I'm saying? I remember one time I was at the store and it was an elderly black woman. I was like, ma'am, do you need some help? And she's like, no, I don't need no help. I just started laughing at her. We even look at each other as being an enemy. So we have to want whatever I want for myself, I should want the same thing for you. And when I see your kids coming home, I should treat your kids like they my kids. And you should do my kids the exact same way. And until there's a community of people who have that exact same mindset, we will continue to get the exact same results. And that's my piece.
And so what I want to say real quick, what I want to say real fast is when we start to understand, I was teaching some brothers the other day I do community organizing here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I was teaching little young brothers in terms of what happened to us, what's our history. And I was just telling them like how, like we read Webster's dictionary and how, and because when you read it, it's the definitions of words. So what I'm saying is, what Noah Webster did and what like Shakespeare did, they are wordsmiths. And so what they did, they took the English lexicon and they took the definition of words and they put the remix on it like Puff Daddy and Lil Jon. They put the remix on those words and they took the original meaning of what they meant and made it mean something else. And basically the reason why I'm breaking that down, because I'm piggybacking off something the brother said that made me say what I'm saying, is because if I control the universe of definition, I control the universe of thoughts. So not only did they take the definition of words, because the word family means slave members, when you go to the online etymology dictionary. And so what you're looking at, the reason why I'm breaking that down is because what you're looking at is how deceptive these people are. The people that have, because we're prisoners of war. And so what you're looking at, you have them conquering words and we don't speak our own language. I remember looking at 500 Nations by Christopher, what's his name? Damn, the white dude. Damn, I forgot his name, but to come back to him. But and so I remember he made a documentary of 500 Nations and how the white Europeans had got the Native Americans stopped speaking their language. And Kevin Costner, that's his name. My bad, y'all. His name is Kevin Costner. And so he made a documentary, 500 Nations. And what I'm taking out of that documentary on how the Native Americans at the time were saying they beating our languages out of us. They said they're going to chastise us for it. They're going to punish us for it. And so one of them said, I would never forget my people. I would never forget my language. I would never forget this. I would never, no matter what they say. And so we forgot ourselves, just like the movie Overboard with Goldie Hawn. The movie Overboard with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. When Goldie Hawn fell off the boat and she lost her memory, she had amnesia. And everything that she knew is what Kurt Russell told her. And it's because that's the same thing that happened to us. We forgot ourselves. We forgot our language. I'm not calling ourselves Hebrews. I'm not calling ourselves, whatever that you subscribe to yourself, that's what we were. And we forgot that about ourselves. And and so now we've been enculturated. We've been enculturated with somebody else's culture. And we don't know ourselves. And so just like Bible verses, Amos 4:6, for my people suffer for a lack of knowledge. And and that's what we suffer from. And that's
well, who up here? There's a couple of people who haven't said nothing. I want to give y'all the opportunity to say something. For those who came in late, you can just introduce yourself, say hi. Well, I want to give y'all the opportunity to say something for those who haven't.
I want to say I'm back. My phone froze up, so I missed a lot of what was being said. But I did catch it. I just wanted to piggyback, because that's what we're doing, right? We piggyback. I just want to say that the dictionary, the title dictionary, is an incorrect way of diction. Means speech. It doesn't mean definition. Diction means, so when you say dictionary, you're talking about a way of speaking. It should be a definitionary if we look at the book the way it really is. And I think the brother is right. He's correct. He's on point, because we don't speak our language. And that's one of the things they took from us. They not only they took our culture from us, they took our way of communicating with one another. They gave us a bastardized language. English is a bastardized language. It's how they use that spelling to put us, we don't even realize. We go in the drugstore, they talk about writing. Right? R-I-T-E is a ritual. It's a ritual. It could have said R-I-G-H-T, which is the opposite of left, you know, but they specifically spelled it R-I-T-E because the word fuss, witchcraft. So if we don't really study this
Go ahead
language,
and tell them, brother.
if we don't, yeah, if we don't study this language, right, then we get caught up. You know, that's like, you know, you go in the store down here, right, and soon you come in the store, it's hell down, and hell is down low. So what they're
That's why
doing,
people tell you when you answer the phone, say, "May I ask who's speaking?" May.
yeah, because when we it's like you know, out of habit, people want to be respectful. They say good morning, but there's nothing good about morning, you know, because morning is what you do
And when you
when you
mourn
go to the
somebody's
funeral.
death,
Say you spell it like this. No, the spelling, it doesn't matter how you spell it. It's the intonation and the rhythm that's the same. You know, you can't tell, you know, one from the other unless you write it and you trick people that way. It's no different than when you say it should be S-H-U-G-A-R. You understand? Not S-U-G-A-R. It don't make no sense. But they put us in this form of and that's why I kind of like.
and with the calendar, also, with the words, also with the
Oh,
calendar.
yeah. Oh yeah, the calendar is named after, you know, after beings, you know, Junus, you know, but it goes back to, again, we don't understand the language, and they catch us, you know, real, you know, with our hands down, our pants down, man, because we don't understand what they're saying, you know. Give us a bunch of, you know, a rhetoric where we never take it back to the etymological source in which these words come from. We do that, we're gonna be good. I don't want to take up too much time. I just want to, you know, let y'all know I'm back. Thank you for letting me share.
Okay, any of the other people?
Yeah. Back to the killing, man. I tell you, man, we got to defend ourselves. Oh man, we need to keep our guns on us. We met the people. I ain't trying to tell nobody go out there and kill a bunch of people. I ain't telling nobody go out there and start nothing. But that guy could have saved himself if he had a pistol. You know what I mean? Of course. You know what I mean? I believe old brother would took him by himself when it comes to hand. But we need to start training our children, start making our own gun clubs. Okay? Seriously. I know good in everything. We can go to the metaphysical, we can go to the spiritual, we can go to Jesus, we can go to aliens, or we can go whatever, you know what I mean? But we need to take shit seriously. At it. Whatever. You know what I mean? We want to call yourself from the sea, from the water, from the space, no matter. We are who we are, and we all the same, got the same target on our heads. Go read medical Harry Washington.
Medical apartheid.
Medical apartheid. Right. So we're getting like Dita said, capitalism. All that stuff strapped. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's a black man or a nigga. I'm gonna call a nigga that's trying to kill you. You gotta be ready. A Chinese man, it don't matter. We gotta be ready, y'all. And we gotta start being so damn forgiving. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. This is self-defense. This is a human right. This ain't civil right. This is a human right. You know, and that's all I gotta say. I ain't gonna go 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think Brother Ned really made a good point. You know, no matter what ideologies you may have or what other systems of belief you might be steeped in or cling to, we know that the objective for Black people is full liberation, no matter what that takes to achieve that point in its fullness. And that is, I think, it's important to go back to how they stole our language. I just want to touch on that briefly about they stole our language and put a spell on it. I agree with that. They stole our language. They brutally ripped our language and ripped our bodies apart. So they did a whole lot of psychological damage that we still have the effect of today, because they did a study that said that Holocaust survivors have PTSD because of the Holocaust that they went through, and they found out that African people that are still PTSD that we linger inside of us today. We're back to when they took our language, they colonized us. They took us from Africa. They brought us to this country where we no longer were able to express ourselves or know ourselves. So what happens is that when they colonized us, there becomes different sectors in Black people. You have sharecroppers, you have the Black expiring bourgeoisie, that's like Black Wall Street and things like that, and you have the loyalists, the people that really believe in this whole idea of American exceptionalism, and that is the fragmented. We have some that want to create a revolution, that are out there in the streets fighting, but then because you have leaders that have been positioned to be in the forefront after the death of so many great leaders that had to run to Cuba and so many others that had to go underground, you started getting leaders like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and all these people who don't really practice Black history. They really practice an assimilation tactic that say that we have to wait a system that was built on our oppression. But they make it seem like if we wait and just be good old Negroes, that somehow these laws will be beneficial to ourselves. But that'll never be the case. So I think that we have to understand that the only way that we can really do anything, the Black radical tradition, really take our frustrations and our angers in the streets. And I don't mean that in a sense of burning things down and things like that, but I mean collectively organizing to go against any kind of institution, any kind of structure that is killing our people. Because what constitutes these white men to say that because they had a citizen's arrest, they was able to kill this black man. That makes us understand in this fullness that any kind of law in America is a law.
Well, Trubon, I guess is you next. I'm trying to wait before I jump in, so I want to give everybody that's on the call opportunity. I see Tracy. She haven't said nothing. Somebody says iPhone. I don't know who that person is. And Trueborn. I think y'all the only three that haven't said nothing so far. So I want to give y'all the opportunity, or if not, I'm gonna jump right in.
Come in, brother.
Yeah, I'm just getting up here, so I'm just listening for a minute, see what you guys got going tonight. But hey, everybody, I'm Truth. Multitasking here, but I'm
All right,
listening.
thanks, Queen.
Hi, Tree.
Hey guys, love y'all.
This is Fawn. I'm just listening, enjoying the conversation, learning a lot, just, taking it all in. But I appreciate the invite. I can't remember who invited me on,
Fawn,
but I think we all pretty much
was me,
got the
Fawn.
same idea.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, you tell about your
Oh
business
my
and everything.
gosh,
You know
I
what I
got so much going on, and I'm being pulled in so many different directions. And I can imagine that everybody, because it's a lot of things out there that we could, chime in and help, especially with all this injustice going on and trying to educate the community. 757 of Virginia, that's the Hampton Roads area. And I also make elderberry and Irish sea moss. And so I've been serving the community that way. And I'm also the president of the Georgetown Civic League in my community. Delegate and get some help, but I appreciate everybody on the call. Just, and that's one of my kids' family, summary of what I do and what I got.
I think I might need some of that moss.
Me too.
I got
because I think I didn't get your information. I think you got off the last time before I was able to get
Fawn Whitehurst.
where I can reach.
Fawn Whitehurst on Facebook. She's on my friend list. Fawn Whitehurst.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Journey. Okay, let me mute myself.
All right, I guess Trueborn don't want to say nothing right now, I guess. All right, so I'm gonna jump. Okay, there you go.
Come on, Trey.
Peace. This is Trueborn. Yeah, this is kind of deep here, especially when it comes, what I'm saying, to talking about, us originally. But they've been doing this, what I'm saying, way ahead of time, like years ago they thought about this, because I don't know if y'all really actually know, but what I'm saying, years ago, when we thinking about a couple of days, they thinking about, what I'm saying, years. And since we not so much on that level of thinking about, what I'm saying, way in our future time, these people already doing that. And this is the reason, what I'm saying, why we get knocked off. We're not thinking like they're thinking, even when it comes down to like, the business that I'm doing, I'm in promoting goals and trying to get people to build wealth for themselves. And they've been doing that for years. Our thought, thinking, process, educate, what I'm saying, on health, wealth, even, what I'm saying, warfare, what I'm saying? Because even if y'all look at some of these little videos that they get on YouTube, the young kids is out there shooting guns. So how many of our young kids is out there doing that? I even seen one video where they had this young girl. She out there, she looked like she's an expert at shooting guns. And this was a white girl, but then they had a black girl. And the black girl, she's up there shaking her little rump. So this kind of shows how, what I'm saying, we're our mom, and we need to educate our young, what I'm saying, so they can catch up and be aware of what's going on instead of just try to be against each other. It seems like all of us is in competition with each other. And we need to get away from that, the competition thing, and start uniting. And once we start uniting, then I think, what I'm saying, a lot of things, because if we don't, what I'm saying, make a change. Peace.
That's real talk, brother. I love what you just said, brother.
I'm gonna veg you back off what you said, Trueborn. As far as the shooters go, we do got shooters. Our problem is our shooters shooting at the wrong people. So we got youth out here that's shooting guns. The problem is they don't know who to shoot at. They're shooting at each other. And that's part of our bigger problem, is that we know how to solve a problem when it's a black on black crime. When somebody black do something to us, we know how to solve that problem. We don't have a hard time finding the right remedy to correct the problem when it's somebody that look like us that does something to us. We only have a problem when fixing the problem when it's somebody from the other race that harms us. That's when we get clueless. Something that Mona said earlier about the videoing. See, the thing with the videoing is they do own us for video because it's propaganda. And what it does is it desensitizes us and dehumanizing us as humans because we watch and seeing our own brothers and sisters constantly being killed. We're watching people take their last breath. We are watching it constantly. Now, what we do, we use the phone as our weapon. We think recording something is actually fighting. And so instead of fighting, we're gonna record. I would have helped you, brother, but I had to get the footage. You get what I'm saying? We had to make sure somebody see what is going on. If it's a black person doing it, most of the time you don't record it. You're gonna get out there and you're gonna either get involved. You get what I'm saying? So it's like with me, it's propaganda. They need the propaganda machine going. They need us to record it. As the young brother that got killed yesterday on Facebook Live, they still letting that video circulate around Facebook. They're not deleting it off, they're allowing it to circulate because they want the propaganda. They want us to see each other being killed. They want us to see us taking our last breath. So guess what? So now we start defending it. Regardless of the situation, we're gonna start defending why the brother died. You get what I'm saying? So that's part of the problem. Then when we do decide to make a stand as black men, I remember when the whole situation happened in Charlotte. Me and some fellas, we went from a high school all the way up to Charlotte to protest what was it in Charlotte where where they yanked up his sister. And so we go all the way up there from a high school, 5-6 hour ride. We went up there multiple times protesting because they wouldn't protest in front of the store. We showed them how you can protest in front of the store. But the saddest thing about it is while we out there, you got sisters still going in the store. Oh, we not with this black power. Fuck that black shit. This is what they telling us. I got to get my weeds from somewhere. And like that's the most hard part of it is that you go to fight and the people you fighting for.
And I had just showed a video. About that, bro. I showed a video on Facebook Live. And I was showing how the sisters in Michigan, the sister got her hands, his 50% off the weeds. You had the line going down the damn corner. The brothers protesting, you got the sisters cussing them out. So that's why.
And it's sad. So what it does is it makes you say, well, what are you fighting for? But we understand that our people are right now, they're sick. You get what I'm saying? Our people are trying to make them understand, but it's a tiring fight, right? And then y'all was talking about the words in English, how they stripped us of our native tongue and they taught us a bastardized version of language, right? And see, the thing with that is, even with this bad talk, we still found a way to put our culture in it because we have the genetic memory of who we were.
We put that seasoning salt on it.
Yeah, so
this shit dope. This shit dope. But hold on, dope means drugs. You gonna get you know what I'm saying?
So we still found a way to market with our thing that I hate to say, but we have to own this or we never gonna go nowhere. We keep saying that we don't have culture. Listen, we've been on this continent for at least 400 or more years, 500 years. Now, we may not like the European culture that we was under, but damn it, and because we have our own culture. Within this culture, we have created our own culture. And whether it's to our demise or not, it's our culture. We need to own what we do have and stop worrying about what we did have and deal with what we do have. Because for one, if anybody know anything when it's dealing with if you was a drug addict or anything, it's the first thing you have to admit it. So we have to own what our culture is. That's the only way we're going to fix what the actual culture that we do have here. Because I'm tired of we do have a culture, man. We just don't want to own it. We don't want to own it, and that's what it is. So, but with this police killing that's going on, not only the police killing, it showed. I saw an article about where in Flint, Michigan, where the brother was, and he told her, "Listen, you can't be in without your man."
Oh my God! Go ahead.
So he got mad. She go and get her brother, her husband,
and all
I think
of them
the
locked
mother,
up right now.
and
All of them locked up.
They come back to the store and they killed the brother. Like they killed the brother because he told her she couldn't be there with a man. But let that with sister the same thing.
Because I call it negativity, not negativity, but negativity.
I'm with you because I don't think that they would have reacted the same way. I don't think it would have been, okay, we're going to come back here and they're going to put 2 bullets in this white guy's head. They wouldn't have done that. And it shows that what we actually think of ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that this is all our fault because, yes, we have been brainwashed and this have been bred into us. But at the same time, we have to own to our own mistakes. We have to own up to what we're doing also. We can't keep blaming everybody else, and we keep pulling the trigger. You get what I'm saying? We pulling the trigger. And with that, I'll pass it on to somebody else.
I'm just listening to what you're saying. Go ahead, brother.
Don't know about, because I keep on talking now.
What I'm saying, Stuart, I'm gonna just keep it on 1 minute, man. We just need to get strapped up, man. We gotta get serious about the crap, man. Because they got you saw on Facebook Live, and the guy we saw got dragged up in Georgia, and the one over there in St. Paul, Minnesota, Minneapolis, whatever. I mean, come on, y'all. I mean, we easy. We too damn easy.
Exactly.
Come on,
just
ain't
like
nobody
George
strapped
and
up. Man, ain't nobody strapped up. That's what I'm saying. Man, ain't nobody strapped up.
And look,
come on, man.
Look, just like how Trayvon Martin get killed and George Zimmerman sold a gun for $250,000 just so they can have it as an ornament. This is the gun that shot the nigga down. This is what kind of, that means, and this dude's still walking around, and I got rappers, you got rappers from Houston, you got to check in when you come. You got this dude still walking around, and then he's suing Trayvon Martin, brother, his father and them, for saying certain things on social media about what happened to their son. Man, we are on the other people. They turned the coronavirus on the Chinese people in Wuhan, China, but now it's being turned on black folks, and now you got the Jewish people spraying black folks with.
Listen, let me tell you something. If George Zimmerman would have been black, he would have been dead. See, we don't want to deal with that. He would have been white. He wouldn't be around here. Listen, George Zimmerman is signing Skittles, and they paying him to sign Skittles in a damn Arizona. Like dead. See, we don't want to deal with the bigger picture, but psychologically, regardless of what we say, we still see the white man as God, man. Psychologically, you can get 3-4 cops.
They put it in the food. They put it in the food.
People. You can have 105 police officers will be able to regulate 100 people.
Going back to me, what kind of psychological aspect? What if I walked around and I said you tried a white, a dark devil's cake, a white angel's cake? These words are trigger words. We just use these words and not even understanding what happened to us and what the crackers, but in their language. That's even more of a killer on top of me saying that you're trying to blackmail me instead of me saying, hey, school teachers, he tried to whitemail me. And watch how fast they ass get suspended.
And listen, if you tell a teacher something like that, I'm gonna tell you something that my kids do. We're like home with projects, and they ask them to do projects on Black History people. But guess who my kids in school doing projects on? I got them doing projects, some of the old queens. And the teachers come back asking them, like, where you get this information from? Because they don't
do the same thing here now.
Even English it comes from Latin. But what do Latin come from?
From the Roman languages.
Yeah, but even I'm saying the Roman language, all these languages gonna trace back to African language.
Germanic language. It traces back to Spanish.
And I think it ends in Greek, don't it?
Yep, it in Greek. Yep, you're right.
Where do Greek come from?
African language.
See, even when we talking about English traces back to African language. Well, I ain't gonna say African language. I'm gonna take that back because I'm not for sure.
And now George G.M. James broke down the Egyptian borders and stuff like that. How they started learning, and they took the Greek symbols and stuff like that.
I'm not for sure that the English and the Latin European family, and that's why I have to stop because I don't think it traces back. But my whole point is, we know where language originated from. We know where the concept of speaking comes from. This bastardized language that we speak in America is English. Yes, it is. But man, we done turned this shit into Ebonics. Like we done switched the whole language thing up. Where we gonna switch.
You're right.
We don't, no matter what we do because it's in our DNA. But the one thing that we seem like we will not get over this hurdle is this mental hurdle of stop hurting people that look like us. We know how to solve a problem when it's a but when it comes to that other race, when it comes to that open enemy that got their foot on our neck, that's controlling our money, that's controlling every aspect of our life, or we somehow we lose all concept of reality. We no longer care about survival. You know what, it hurt, but guess what? I'm gonna sell my children. I'll wait for a settlement. You got people now, children are being killed, fathers that are watching their kids be killed, and instead of them reacting, they're getting settlements. They taking the money. You selling it. So it's a price on your children? You telling me you can pay me $13 million for my dead daughter on this? Man, listen. I gotta watch it. Listen, it's no way possible that human nature, if you watch any other animal in nature, An animal in nature is gonna try to survive, man. It don't hyenas. Now you know the hyena don't stand a chance, but the hyena gonna give some type of fight. You ain't just gonna the hyena.
And
ain't
that's
just,
the thing, brother. And look, piggybacking off what you just said real fast, like 1 minute. When I'm making the analogy off the animals. When our fight and flight took over, it was meant to save us from the big animals or whatever. Whatever we believe in is just depression, stress, and things like that. And so the same saber-toothed tigers that we had to get away from back in the day to keep us alive for those, we wake up to the saber-toothed tiger in our beds. And what I mean by waking up to the saber-toothed tigers is that the stress that we wake up to, hard time getting shot down for jogging through some fucking body neighborhood. And they ain't gonna get convicted, just like the police officer that shot their brother, both of them jeans, she shot their brother down while he was eating his ice cream. And then his family get up there and sit up and out of universal history, out of all of universal history, she got the coon coronavirus. She got the coon coronavirus. And she get up and see the white police officers in the back or sergeant, whoever they are. And he giving the white sheriff lady, you see the white sheriff lady hug the lady that killed the brother. Then you see the judge here. We see the same one trick pony, y'all. So what we looking at things that repeat it. Society ain't gonna come together, black folks. I would be a fool. I would be naive, think all black folks gonna come together. But what it is, y'all that I met tonight, I'm gonna network with y'all, and this conversation don't go no further than this conversation. Everybody ain't gonna come together like I just said, but we gotta do something, y'all. A lot of our people suffer from the coon coronavirus. They inside. That's all I got to say.
Hey, yo, Stuart, my getting here was saying, me and Ned went to school together, and that's why I go back to saying we gotta want what I want for my brother. What I want for my brother, what I want for myself, and the same applies to your sister also. Look at everybody. You have to understand the people. That's your family that's being burdened down and trodden, and we have to get into this. This is not our culture at all. This ain't our culture. But as you said, Stuart, we did remix it nonetheless to do the best with it for what we can. But there is something different if you are a father or mother or sister or brother, and the video of your son being shot. That language go out the window. Because then it becomes a gut check for you as a man or for you as a woman. Like, that was my nephew that they killed for no reason. Regardless of the color, whether it was, I don't care how old it was, they killed my nephew for no justifiable reason. So, okay, cool, I'm gonna let the courts handle it. But then the court also does not, this man walk around here every day. And so then, then it don't matter what language that I know. It don't matter what language I know. That don't matter. It becomes what I'm gonna do as a man or what I'm gonna do as a woman when somebody takes something from you. If you take a child, no matter what, your child gonna say what's mine is mine. What's mine is mine. You try to take it, don't care what color. That child, if they're worth that grain of salt, they're gonna knock you upside the head unless they talk different. They're gonna fight tooth and nail, they're gonna bite, scratch, and claw because that is mine. And as an individual, especially as a man, your duty on this planet, at least from my perspective, should be to protect the things that are valuable to you that exist within your immediate universe. You understand what I'm saying? And so as a man, nobody should be able to take something away from you without there being some type of cause afterward. Now, I ain't saying it got to be valid. That's not what I'm saying. It could be a conversation. It could be taken to the court. It could be hitting somebody's pockets, whatever it is that may be. Now, with that being said, like, as I said earlier, me and Ned went to school with each other. That's my brother right there. And no matter what the situation is, I will go for him. Point blank, period.
Likewise, brother.
And we'll discuss the options or whether you right or wrong afterwards. You understand what I'm saying? And so we have to have that exact same mentality for our people. And I'm about to be quiet. I know the brother was saying, he said every black person won't be that way. He right. We all not going. We not with it. But at the same, he absolutely right. And with that being said, it really don't take a lot of people for real. It really don't. You can put a whole bunch of bananas in a bag with one avocado. You get what I'm saying? And that one avocado ripen every single banana. It can be 5 bananas. So it don't really take that many people to make no change, man. It really don't. You can get 5 people who ready to just do whatever, whether just ready to ride for each other. And they can make a really big change. The thing with it is just finding the people that will go with you in time of need, not just when everything going good, but when I don't have nothing. When my son did get shot in the street, don't rap about it. Don't rap on no song telling me how you gonna kill all these black people. But then when the black people get shot by the cop, you're like, oh, let's go pray, let's go do this. Then your whole story changed. That means you are not about their life. What you are is you a black people killer. You ain't no better than nobody else. As the guy said, he said you are cool niggity, whatever he said. That's all it is, man. We gotta have love for each other, man. And until we have love for each other, man, as I said earlier, ain't nothing ever gonna change.
You know what, Master You? Likewise, man. Ride with you too. I already know that, man. But like you
I
said,
have a question.
Oh, hands down.
But like you said, though, we can't save everybody. And I'm not gonna be a Joe Winters trying to save everybody. Hey, the universe is gonna send the people to you that's serious. I'm not gonna be out here with pamphlets. Hey man, have you heard about New Wapping? Have you heard about the 5% nation? That's a waste of damn time, man. I'm gonna enjoy my life, the little bit of life I got. The universe is gonna bring the people that you need, the real ones, man. Cause you out there trying to bring everybody, you gonna bring more snakes in. You get what I'm saying?
That's how I met y'all tonight.
Natural flow. Let Sister Spawn, Sister Fawn. Go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. So I did notice that when the situation happened with the jogger, there was an outrage. A lot of people went to social media, and then there was an arrest. So did that make a difference that we all put our? Because I know I signed a petition. I don't, to have these guys locked up. Is that working? Does it make a difference? That's my question to everybody.
Can you repeat that one more time? Can you repeat that? I heard what you just said, sister. Can you please repeat that one more time?
So my question is, when the situation originally happened, everybody was outraged, everybody was upset, and nothing happened to the guys that murdered the jogger. However, when we started a petition and everybody started signing a petition, I guess making phone calls, all of a sudden these guys got locked up. So is this a method of saying, getting a result, like getting something done?
It's the same thing with Freddie.
So this one.
Same thing with Freddie Gray. With Freddie Gray, when we look at things, we celebrate indictments instead of convictions. When they get locked up and about us protesting or whatever, and then they got locked up or whatever, we always celebrate that. But then when you look at the end result, not guilty, it's like, now what? And then it happens again. Oh, yeah, they got locked up. Okay, we protest. Oh, yeah. And then people be putting all these emojis up with the smiley faces and stuff like that. And it's the same one trick pony from the 1960s, 40s, 18, 17, 1600s. It's the same conquer and divide tools because we celebrate indictments. Black folks celebrate indictments, but there's no justice because justice is just us in terms of just them being them. And so what I'm saying is, I don't look into it like they're going to be convicted of. Just like Amber Geiger, she got sentenced to that time. I guarantee y'all, by our people's family sitting there telling, by them giving her a hug, and the judge that's suffering from the coronavirus, they gave her a hug. That's all going to play a role. So the same thing what you're looking at, I would say that the family of the victim will be paid, and then they will put on a show like Botham Jean's family. That's all I want to say.
Well, sister, to answer your question, I'm gonna veg back off what my brother Shaka just said. I think the fact that the video came out and it was shared by a lot of people, that it did put pressure, because you have LeBron James that came out and made a statement about it. So you have actors that was tweeting about it. You had the candidate for the Democratic Party, Joe Biden, he mentioned something about it. You get what I'm saying? So with the video coming out, that did put some pressure on the state, because it had been passed down to different with different DAs, because they have a relationship with the first district attorney. So they had to recuse themselves and went somewhere else. So in a sense, I would say that the pressure did, but this is not a win. The thing with Black people is we don't we playing checkers, and they playing chess with us, man. We want to celebrate one move, not thinking 3-4 moves ahead. And this right here is they always give us symbolic gestures. See, they had a march down there. Let me tell you, the family is already cooning up. I'm sorry. The family already saying that it's not a Black thing. They're already saying this is a community thing. They have already done distanced themselves, saying that it's not a Black and white thing, right? Then they got somebody from the Ofer law firm. The Ofer law firm is that Trump. Trump. What's his name? That Black lawyer. They never win cases. All they get is settlement.
And look, all the families, Trayvon Martin family, Sandra Bland family, they always represented from the same lawyers, even though it wasn't from the same, all lost.
What's Crump? It's the Crump. It's Crump in there. I call them the Ofers. because they have never won a case, but they get you settlements. That what they do is they get you to say, remember I talk about these fathers that's getting these payouts for the children? Well, that's
That shit,
what they
I'll
get.
die for my children. I'll die for everything. I'll die for all my people. Ain't no way in the hell somebody gonna give me.
And like, so in a sense, I want to say, yeah, you know, but at the same time, it's a symbolic justice. They know that they couldn't let that go around without at least indicting them or at least charging them. You get what I'm saying? But I don't think that's nothing that we should be proud about, because they should have been arrested in the beginning. Like
we celebrate indictments. We celebrate indictments and not convictions.
It's like and we already see how that go. They already have that on their case built up that they were standing their ground, or you know they were fearing for their life. You know that's built in. And the worst thing about it is the brother ain't here to tell his side of the story. He's not here to tell his side of the story. And you know, so with that, you know, they had to do something. But I don't think that what they did is like something to be excited about, because if you read that article, they already got their defense in the article. Read the article when they talk about them being arrested. I was just reading it. It's like, man, it's just a stable thing, and they remixing it. You got the president trying to use. I mean, the guy running for president trying to use it. He trying to use it, so he want to use it politically to get votes. Then you got everything going on, man. So it's just so much. But my point is, like, it has to come. Listen, you don't beat a bully up by asking him to stop. You know what I'm saying? You can't ask these people to give you something that is a God-given right. And I'm not talking about freedom. I'm talking about the right to protect yourself. That is innate, man.
And just like the stories that we got about, like my own example, my 15-second story up to a dude that was in middle school, because I never made it to high school. I dropped out of 8th grade. But I finally stood up to the bully, right up to him, and he said something, and we finally got in the fight. And I won. I'm like, oh, like, there's nothing complex. And so I hate it. Once you stand up and you willing to die for what you believe, because freedom don't really subscribe to that. And so that's what it's gonna come at. So you gotta die for all those when you look military, and I ain't just saying this about white folks and all this. When you look back, ain't none of those people had the concept of death. The concept of other people. That's when death, hey, if you don't believe in this, you're gonna go to the upper room or the lower room. But before then, everybody remember my name for thousands of years. So what I'm saying is, a lot of us is spooked out by the shit. People like Mumia Jamal, you know what I'm saying? This brother, he's a prisoner of war. You got other people that's prisoners of
war. And then you actually, if you go back into our great mom, you know, when your big mama, when they have a dream of somebody having fish, you know, they say somebody pregnant, right? But when the children used to be born, they'd be like, who that done came back? Especially down here in Carolina, I used to hear a lot of people be born, but like, who that done came back? Because they like,
hey, that's real talk, brother.
They be like, who that done came back? Because they were saying like, yo, you get what I'm saying? So this is something that what you
just said, brother, that's some freaky stuff to the average mind. What you just said, they're like, hold up, where deja vu come from? But it's a different. Yeah. So I'm not putting your Bible down. I'm not putting the Quran down, because each text have something about reincarnation in the text. So I'm not saying that your text ain't real. Everyone does.
But as soon as we accept it, like, man, we need to do a show on examining death. That need to be the next show.
Hey, look, call me. I would start the show since yesterday. I would start.
I'm gonna lock you in, but that might need to be the next show, man. We need to actually tackle death. Because I think
what happens when we die. The title should be like, what happens when we die?
Yeah.
And then what's the definition of death? And
conversation, man. Because that's part of the problem right there, is that, you know, we're afraid of death, man.
Malcolm X's belief system. But I totally understand what he said. He said, you afraid to believe these people that used to battle, these people be on the front lines. Like, in my mindset, I'm like, damn, ain't you afraid to die with these big ass swords on the front line? Like, damn, I need to be in the back somewhere. Like, shit, I need to, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, because of this socially engineered society.
Mm-hmm. And they put us in a bad situation. You're right, because when you speak of them ancient fights, the frontline soldiers would be standing right there, and they armed,
and they be willing to die. Hey, look, they be looking forward to death. They be looking forward to it. Like, look, I'm dying today, and look, as if they taking a drink, as if it's a club meeting at the end of the day. But today, oh hell to the no.
Yeah. Like, I'm trees or something. Let me duck and dive. I'm not just gonna stand here and wait for you to read.
Everybody had to teach something. The Native Americans is the first one they put in them guerrilla, like the how they went to a war, they went to a battle, and you know they always knew that they went to that Native American war. They was like, where they at? They found out. So right after that battle, they began to start fighting the old way. Somebody, just like when they went into Egypt, somebody's always had, they was, I'm not afraid that somebody else always.
Each time we reincarnated is another lesson that we need to learn. One day we don't lower life intelligence, but the people that we see, because the Creator, whatever we call God name, on, what happened, God, we recognize something bigger than Nino Brown. We recognize something that's bigger than Nino Brown, no matter what your belief system is. And it's like, damn, we going back studying ourselves. And so that's what we are. And you see what I'm saying? And so, but it's freaky. But I know that he's born again throughout his family's genes somewhere. He's gonna be born all over again. But it's freaky because we've been taught something.
But doesn't he live through us? Because
he lived through his ancestors. He lived through his ancestors. He's never been a female. He's always been a male. Have you ever heard of past life deja vu? Everybody heard of it, deja vu, right? Everybody heard of deja vu. But look into past life regression meditation.
Who does that?
You know what I'm saying? That's just a fact. Like, you just have a meditation on, like, what were you in the past life?
That's new age.
And you got
that's
people
new age, bro.
And so look, when you're born again, you got people that'll help you out. You got like angels. When they say angels and stuff like that, I would never debate religion again in my life. I would never debate somebody's religion again. But all this shit is synonymous. It might be off a little bit with somebody else, but our percenters, you could take it and connect it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's all connected.
I will say this though. In ancient Egypt, the purpose was to escape reincarnation.
Because you don't want to come back to this level of existence. Each time somebody comes back, you gotta learn. Maybe you need some help on your patience this time. Maybe you had something wrong with maybe you was totally brainwashed and something, you got killed in the car accident or you died. All this is in school. The planet, so if you reincarnated, we got to be incarnated. What's incarnated? If I believe in Daffy Duck, I'm incarnated. That means I'm a human being and I'm talking to y'all like what's reincarnated? So that means that means my last lifetime I didn't know enough. I need to come back. I need to better myself on something I need to learn from. Maybe I need to be a revolutionary. Maybe I need to die for my people.
Have had a past,
you know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Not just meditation. Anybody else? No.
Elder Mizzou, you wanted to say something.
Brother Mizzou.
What's going on?
Hey, look, my bad. Y'all ain't mean to go that far, but y'all keep talking real.
Can you hear me?
And when I'm real, I might go too far. I ain't mean to go that far, but I blame it on y'all.
In India, that's part of their religion. It's certain is to come back as. And if you come back as a lower level,
and you got a lot of people to take advantage of people. You got to their own code. They turn it to their own meanings and stuff like that. And that's what they throw the baby out with slum. And it's the dude, the white dude that was in Chicago, got the people.
That's Jim Jones.
So, Jim Jones, he had a code. Yeah, and guess who introduced an artist? Farrakhan artist introduced Jim Jones to the people in Chicago. And he took him back to Guyana.
Oh wow!
You sure that was Wallace Muhammad?
Nah,
I know Wallace was
that was before that. That was before that time.
I think the elder want to get in. Let the elder get in. I see what.
I appreciate everybody commenting because I'm learning a lot. So
for real, if you watch that movie, you remember when they locked him up, it was so many brothers who came and lined up the streets that they had to let him go. They let him go. He walked out of that precinct. No different if you watched a few days ago for a rabbi, and they came out in full regalia. The streets was flooded with a lockup. This one dude, the police was back practically, begging the dude, put your hand behind your back. That kind of force because there were so many of them out there. And I'm saying that to say this, right? Unless until we begin to move like going to their courts, we go along. We have to face the judge. They don't respect us. But if we come with a group of people, you understand, they're going to give us respect. The 21 was on trial in New York, right? They won that case because people was coming from all over. And one of the things they did was they taught knowledge. Then we're going to be able to be, fall into what we call, Malcolm called it, either the house Negro or the field Negro. And if you notice, if you go to a lot of these conservatives, his name is Joel, I think Star something, right? He's a young kid. He's a millennial, and I heard him say that that he doesn't believe that there's. He said that he never seen it. He said he was 12 years old and didn't know he was black. So, and he said to the White House, he said, but I went twice. Trump invited me twice. So you have these black people want to be like white people because they don't understand their glorious past. And all I'm saying is that it will behoove us to begin to teach some great people in the past. Like I heard the brother earlier say, he said that we were brought over here as slaves. All of us didn't come over here as slaves, and they weren't slaves. They were kidnapped. We need to keep the focus up front, because if we don't, we let the man off. If I came and I took you from Virginia or wherever, the first crime was that I kidnapped you. But we give them a pass. We don't talk about that. You understand? But the point to the matter is that we need to begin to have classes where we can talk about our glorious past. And then when we do that, then we can down the religious, a road, or we went down through other roads through language. You understand? So it's important that we begin to teach knowledge of self, so that we can understand, right, what it means, right, when we say, well, we didn't become Christians until we coming upon, the white slave master, that he had to make sure his slaves practice Christianity. How do I know that? Because they had the what they call the Christian Black Code of 1720. You had to be a Christian. So now when we begin to understand that, right, start to jail as a people, and it starts off with a small group. We can be in the jail as a people, and then we can understand from my brother what I want for myself. We can understand, that there's no me without you. There's no you without me. We saw the other day when the Hasidic Jews got together and they went to that funeral. They was defying, the so many of them, and they was all marching to the beat of the same drum. And until we begin to do that, you know what I mean? So it's just real important that we begin to have some real history. Like the brother said, maybe we can meet together, or we can show a film and let's discuss the film. Let's start off with one. Yeah. Let's watch Hidden Colors and then have some dialogue after the film. Yeah. Go to Hidden Colors 2, 3, to give us love of self. You know what I mean? Because if you don't love yourself, then you want to be like, the Tomahawk. I'm not saying, because, sometimes people say when you talk intelligent, they say, oh, that's talking white. No, I don't mean that. I mean, they sound just like they're white. If you weren't looking at them,
when you look at the Democrats, I taught Black people how to be poor, and I'm just looking at all they do is show shit every 4 years. When the presidents and things like that, how they play each other off against each other, it's a bird with two wings. You know what I'm saying?
It's to keep the government alive. That's all that. They all the same party.
And so when the brother got shot down, right, going back to that, is like, so all right, we could talk about the problem. Okay, the white man did this. It created this. Okay, so what I say in my university of because I ain't go to NC State, I went to Penitentiary State, but my University of Common Sense tells me, what the hell you gonna do about it? Are you gonna complain about it? And even though and I don't have the answer to everything. I don't have an army. We don't have an army. We behind enemy lines. So what I'm saying is, on top of what we're talking about, like a quick solution, like I said, all Black people ain't gonna come together. Whatever we call each other, I know a word. So whatever the name that it is, just put it this way. I don't know what you believe in. I don't know what you believe in, but I know what you are staring at your black head.
Let me say this, brother. Let me say this, brother. That's the problem. See, we believing in things. Even in the word believe, the word don't know. Let me put that on me. Either I know some or I don't know. I don't believe anything. And he got a red jacket on. And I can believe that all day long. And so I go out there and look and see, you know what? Once you know something, you can never go back to being a believer. But now, understand this. There's different layers to this thing, man. Because this and your black ass that, right?
Listen. This is what I'm saying, brother. When you get used to what I'm saying, it ain't in that way.
No, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Then you understand what I'm saying.
I had a point. Okay, great.
And this is my point. My point is, black is an adjective. It does not describe text. We use that term out of context. Our people were always, we had either Washita, Yamansi, we had the Wapana, we had tribes, When you talk to an African, if you say, well, what are you? They're not, I'm Hausa, they're gonna describe black, and this is just the beginning. When you call yourself black,
hey, brother, all I'm saying is, because we call ourselves different things. I got in conversations with other people like, we Moors. And I'm like, okay, brother, okay, but it's not meant to go this far. Listen, brother, it ain't meant to go this far with it. That's why I was talking about the names that we call ourselves. Speaking about what we call. I'm not getting caught up into the black stuff. Brother, listen. I'm not getting caught up into like, we call each other different things. Brother. It ain't meant to go there.
You know what? Okay, you just said.
I didn't mean to go there.
You just said we're Moors. That's what you said, right?
Now you learn talking to black folks about different names and what we call ourselves.
I'm tired, man.
I muted everybody because the conversation getting out of hand. And this is not why we on the show to go back and forth and bicker with each other. You know, the one thing about this show is that you have to allow the person to speak. You have to allow them to finish, and then the next person can go. But you know, we don't want to get up here and turn this into a circus wherein it's a back and forth going on. But that's defeating the purpose. You know, we want to talk about fixing our problems and not disagreeing with each other. So, you know, one thing that we know as Africans, we always respect our elders. We always respect saying this to let the elder finish. And it's not about who's right or who's wrong. We are all right. You get what I'm saying? We are all right. And so it's not about right or wrong. It's just about respect and allowing each other to finish their thoughts without cutting one another off. And that's all I want to say. I don't want this to be what it's turning into because it don't need to. So I think that we are all grown enough to be able to conversate about whatever's going on and be respectful. So it don't turn into, because we don't want to, we fighting each other all the time. Like this is our problem. Like, and I don't want to, I'm not going to do it either. I'm not going to talk about, this is our problem. Like, you know, we up here talking about what's going on to our people, and now it's turning sideways. So like, let's just get ourselves together. Y'all can unmute y'all mic, but like it's not no back and forth, man. Let's just, you know, we building, we not destroying. Either you're a builder or you're a destroyer. We up here to build. We not up here to destroy.
Sure. I'm getting ready to I'm gonna get ready to go. One thing about it, like you said, respect. But let me say this: when somebody has an opinion, whether they say black, and I'm going to just be honest, and I respect, and I'm grown, I expect to be respected, regardless of elder age, and I respect that he has a way. Let them finish, because then we need to respect. So I'm going to respectfully get off because I saw it from the beginning to the end. Let the person finish, especially if they want to. That's that same thing with Tom, and that's why I had to tell myself, I know this up here because we should be all family. Some people monopolize a little bit. It's really long, even student, even at peace, it really takes your attention off. You should have that way you can get a breather, and nobody else have something to say. The person that's still talking can go back, but you can't interrupt, like you said, anyone, or if you do, at least stop. And so good night, everyone.
Yeah. When I was just talking, all I was just saying, I was just saying, no matter what we call ourselves, whether it's black, Hebrew, Israelite, or whatever, because I know the name, even before the brother had said something. And I don't, because I was talking about the brother that was jogging, and I went in on it. And I started, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I hate the brother got killed. And so when I was saying black, I said, whatever we call ourselves, because I know we could get caught up in words, Kemetic, black, and whatever. And so I got caught up into that, and that's where the conversation went. And I didn't want it to go there, but I was just mentioning it before it went there. And it went, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm the person that's wrong. I apologize, y'all. I'm the person that's wrong, and it shouldn't have went there, okay? So instead of me blaming on, it's this person's fault. I'm sorry, I'm wrong, and so it is what it is. I'm going to say.
The only problem myself, man, let me get into this, man.
Go ahead.
I'm a neutral dude, man. First of all, all right? And when we all elders in here, we all grown. Brother, you cool, Shaka Zulu. Brother, you get excited and you're talking over people. You feel me? I know you adding on, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. I agree with like what you're saying. But like when I was saying something, I don't talk much, right? I'm a listener. I'm an action motherfucker. I don't do a lot of talking. But when I do say something, it coming from your heart. I respect that. But a lot of it, man, to be real with you, man, you were jumping in, pushing the room in the conversation, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Let me piggyback. You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, brother.
Keep it a buck.
I understand what you're saying.
I love you, brother. I love you. It's all good.
Look, I'm a man. I take criticism. I'll take that, and I won't do that again. I apologize.
We all good, brother. It's all good. I'm an outlier. It's all good.
That for future references, and I'll keep that in mind. I apologize.
I think it's two people. True Born, you wanted to say something? And I think the bot came back because the bot been gone for a minute. I'm glad to see the brother back. The bot, you want to jump in?
Yeah, back. I had to step out. I was on a phone call. But yeah, can I ask, like, what was the? Because I just stepped back in.
Okay, yeah, we was talking
not the argument. What was the central topic about?
yeah, we were talking about. It wasn't no argument either. We don't argue. All we do is we just challenge each other. But the topic was about the killings that's been going on lately, man. The brother got killed down there in Georgia. How the police been yoking folks up in New York if they ain't got their mask on or if they ain't social distancing. you know, stuff like that. We're just talking about, it seems like it's open. It's been hunting season for Black people, but it seems like it's getting a little bit, you know, they ratcheting it back up like they did a couple years ago.
Well, I can't really say that I have any details because I didn't see the video, but I know that it's definitely outrage. And I definitely just wanted, again, you know, to send my condolences out, you know, to the family of the young brother, because that, you know, that's who is grieving the most right now. You know what I mean? And you know, I just think that the measures that we can begin to take. Somebody mentioned this earlier, and I think it was you, brother. Is you know, we have to start to think about, you know, the consequences of these things before they happen at home to one of our own. You know what I mean? And start taking measures to you know, protect ourselves, you know, from from having things like this happen. And that's going to take us coming together. But I think that a lot of us, like you stated earlier, you know, we wait until tragedy happens to hurt and grieve and things like this. But we need to turn that into we need to use that same energy and turn it into action. So, you know, although, like I said, I don't really have the details behind this particular young brother and his situation, I just think that, you know, that the key is for us to truly put aside the ego, truly put aside, you know, our own personal feelings and emotions about, you know, how we may feel about each other, mainly, so that we can, you know, come together and do what we need to do, you know, to protect our people. And ultimately, I think that's literally going to that's going to take us making some sacrifices, or, you know, putting certain things aside that separates us and divides us. That's pretty much my take on that.
And let me ask you a question, brother. Nabat, on your screen, on your screensaver, how many stars is that? Is that 30 or 32?
It's 33, counting
32?
the one in the middle.
Okay, I'm just messing with you.
Why you ask me that?
No,
I mean,
just,
I don't have no problem admitting that I'm a master mason if that's what you was implying.
listen, man, I'm messing with you.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a secret to me.
I know. I listen, when I looked at it, I said, let me count these stars.
Yeah. You know, that was something interesting because you know, the brother that created this picture, he has our clothing line called Nubia Apparel. You know, and this is a very talented brother, as you can see. The images together are very, very symbolic. You can find yourself looking at some of these images and, you know, just having genetic explosions just from looking at, you know, and meditating on some of the symbology that he has there.
I counted it. I said, yeah. But I was first I was counting for the gnomes, you know, the chromosomes, you know, 16, 16 and the gnome. But that's what I was counting for at first. I was, let me count them in here. But yeah, that's all, man.
You gotta get it too.
Hey, y'all, anybody else want to jump in here, man? I think Drew Boy had something to say because he had raised his hand.
Nah, I just tapped that by mistake. I don't even know how I tapped it like that, but
come on, bro. You wanted to chime in. It's still up.
I don't even know how to put it down.
Okay, that's what's up. Man, anybody else y'all want to say something on my and look, but we can have a show to talk about death. So on Shaka, Zulu, look, my name's Stuart Fields on Facebook, bro. So me and Mona friends, man. So send me a friend request, or so I can make sure I invite you. But I do want to have a show where we talk about death, man, and the meaning of death. You know, what's your thoughts on death? You know, so we can dive into that conversation. A lot of people don't like having that conversation, and I think that's a conversation that we need to start having.
It's in all cultures.
Yeah, like death and birth are all synonymous with life.
So hold on, brother. I need to write your name down right now because if I don't do it, I'm gonna be bullshitting. I ain't gonna, so how do I send you a friend request on set? Hold on, one second. Set.
SCT set and then space Haru. Send me a friend request.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, it's very because a lot of people don't talk about that.
It's very interesting.
We talk about birth all the time, but when it comes to death, it's like, death. I think that would be a good conversation to have. I actually got a video I done in 2015 or 16 about death, and it's some interesting things I found, and some of their words like that they had. They didn't even have a word for certain
like
certain
death, they didn't have it. They couldn't comprehend it because it wasn't in their lexicon.
So it's not even, it's foreign to them. So they got different words and shit. So what I'm saying? But
that's what William Shakespeare and Noah Webster's, because whoever controlled the definition of the words controlled the universal thoughts. Whoever controlled the definition of words controlled it. Like the word nice. The word nice means a fool. You see what I'm saying? And we speak Queen's English. We don't even speak that like lawyers. Lawyers, the whole thing that they do is like plaintiff. Like a plaintiff means somebody that's incompetent, somebody that's feeble-minded. I mean, not plaintiff, but client. A client means someone how to represent themselves. So they got to be represented. Instead of presenting themselves, they got to get represented. They got to get somebody to represent. If you knew your ignorance of the law is no excuse, right? And so that's why I would never be on child support. And that's a whole nother conversation, brother. Cause like it's a whole nother thing that they got back. They sued. They got out of the brothers. They garnished their wages for. But that's a whole nother conversation now. And that's for the brothers, for good fathers. I have no respect.
That's what's up, man. Hey, y'all want to jump in? Anything? Add. If not, I'm gonna give everybody an opportunity to close out. And don't nobody got anything to add.
I'm gonna add on just a little bit. Thanks everybody for showing up. I enjoyed everything. Fun. I appreciate you coming. And don't be a stranger, okay?
No, I appreciate it. Send me another invite.
I will, definitely will. And, you know what I'm saying? And, I try to bring people that's independent on the show, Stuart, of all walks of life, you know what I mean? And she's definitely down.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Hey, hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Oh, Pete, it's Fawn with the E. F-A-W-N-E.
Hey, I'm bad.
What you say? You said F-A what?
And then Whitehurst. I was looking for some of y'all. I couldn't find y'all on Facebook.
F-A-W-E and then Whitehurst.
Yep, I got a Facebook.
W-N-E.
Yeah. So I do got a question. Are you?
No, I'm in Carolina.
Okay, Carolina. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
I'm in Carolina too, but I be the House of Conscience, like, you know what I'm saying? I be VA like that's my AK.
Yep. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, we're bringing Yaki here, the herbalist.
Okay.
Yeah, August. Yep.
Okay.
Yo, peace, it's Matthew. Always a great comment. Yeah, I want to say this here too, man. One good thing about the family can have disagreements, and at the end, I'm saying, so in the day, it's all love, love. And
yeah, it's just passion.
Yeah,
everybody got passion. All passion.
You know what I mean? It's just all love. And then the last thing, like money and finances, man, because I notice like a lot of our people don't know nothing about money. You know, a lot of time our people spend money on stuff that's not they put money inside of banks that don't generate any type of interest. You know what I'm saying? People 60, 70 years old don't know nothing about IRAs, how to really generate wealth, really what wealth is really being a millionaire, or is it really being able to have the time, being able to, that'd be a great conversation, man. Huh? Yeah, that's
Master, about that's what I'm writing down about 2 letters because I can't spread it and stuff. And I deal with business. I deal with Bitcoin. I deal with gold. Financial. This is so whenever you want to do that and you let me know ahead of time, I'll get in touch with Neb.
No problem. You know what? Tomorrow I'll start working on some notes and stuff.
All right, that's all right. So we got financial literacy. I got some people from the UK. I'm waiting on them to tell me though with the UK. And I don't know what they're gonna discuss, but so let so we kind of man because we trying to y'all know I done been in continent. I'm a part of the Guy tribe. I'm a in, so I'm Guy now. That's my tribe. I have an actual tribe in Ghana to get in touch with some brothers on the continent so we can start getting them on so we can have a But go ahead, True Boy. I see your hand, man. Or you didn't raise it. It's still been up all along. Put this damn hand lawyer, man.
There you go.
Who is somebody else saying hand too? Yeah, but with that being said, man, hey, True Boy, you gonna do the
Yeah,
tie that in. Same class.
Definitely. Master you know what I'm saying? I on Facebook, but you know, you definitely could connect with me and you know what I'm saying, we can go in on that, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's peace, God. I'm not even on Facebook no more, man. I'm not up there no more. It's Messenger. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. Go on. Don't Nev got your number, your contact?
Yeah, the brothers
I
got my
got
number.
Okay, cool. I'll get it for him and I'll plug you in. I plug you in and we can chit chat tomorrow. You down?
All right, that's peace, guy.
All right, so y'all can start closing out. Y'all, just because you have a final statement before y'all close out. After y'all close out, let me get a final statement.
Go ahead, Fawn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was y'all saying something?
Go ahead. Say your last piece. We better close
please
out.
keep up the good work and continue to spread the good word and the good news is what we talk to educate other people.
I'm gonna bring it back though. I'm gonna bring it back next show. Probably doing tomorrow night.
Okay.
Talking about death.
Okay.
You know.
Definitely. Finances, I got that one down pat.
We know that.
That's what's up.
All right, you guys enjoy your night.
All right, peace.
All right. All right, everybody gonna close out at once now.
I can't really say anything as far as the discussion because I wasn't really here. But I definitely look forward.
I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. What show you want to do, Nabat?
I think the discussion that you just brought up is a pretty good one. If everybody agreed to that, I just think that what we want to try to do, like you just gave earlier, mentioning the Akan and their cultural traditions and history regarding death and things like that, we may know. Because regarding our history, we also see the connection that the Akans have with the ancient Egyptians as well.
Yeah,
and that's a discussion that we could definitely we could touch on.
They say that they were there. They say that that they were in Egypt. God Yah is the Wednesday God, and Yah comes from their Wednesday God, because you know a one head God. But, you know, each day is an individual God. That's why depending on what day you're born, you have a name based on
facts. And that same concept also migrated down too.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all over there. Yeah. So
we can talk about that.
Hold on. Go ahead.
In the bot, I was gonna say, man. In the bot, bring some more Unox, man.
I mean, those who I'll bring some more. I'll be invited. Everybody don't really want to join like that because I would say we want to get focused on it because I think that this is a great platform. It's a great thing. What we want to do is we want to, you see what I'm saying? Like let's actually be, more convicted in our topics that we discuss.
Let's do this, right?
Because I know, but also cover it and let's stick to it. Because like the brother was saying, we want to be careful from going off topic and bringing up other things. It takes away from the energy and the focus of any one thing from getting addressed and having want to do is kind of, like we discussed this death thing. We want to make sure that the next class, our next discussion, is something you may be coming from, what's your perception or whatever. Let's just try to stick with that. And I think that will kind of to the platform and to the classes and to the streams, which I said is already on a positive to the brother. But yeah, that's something that we want to discuss if that's cool.
And listen, hey, y'all know Africa. You know the if you got where my I ain't got it around. But if you look at the continent of Africa, it represents the number. So you have to go there. So the bottom, you gotta go to Africa, bro. I don't know if you already been, but you gotta go.
What you mean by number, Stuart? What you mean? You talking about science? I don't know. What you mean by that, bro?
Hey, listen, all I'm gonna tell you is if you
I understand what he said. Well, just keep this in mind that the more you travel, the more you learn, the more you get in the East. The sun rises in Africa. All light, all knowledge, all wisdom, which comes from Africa. So, as you travel, elders who have wisdom beyond anything that you could imagine that you can get in America. Say, for example, free people, right? It's priests in Africa that know things and they keep these things secret and sacred.
That's
all that means to me.
No, look, that's for you. What is 7 on y'all supreme mathematics?
That's God. 7 is a God. Until you talk to them, they say that's a lot of God.
Okay. How do I say that? Is that completion?
What do you mean? Well, if you're looking at the universal flag, the number 7 in it, or God, God sits above everything. You see the universal flag on Trueborn's shirt.
So you see the 7, you see a crescent moon, and you see the it's the all-seeing God looking over top, looking at everything below it, and nothing can ever rise above the 7 because that's the creator.
Okay, well, that's it. That's the main thing.
We're gonna touch on that, but
am I right or wrong?
I tell you one thing.
Am I right or wrong, True Boy?
Yeah, you're definitely 100% right, brother. I mean, universe. You know what I'm saying? That 7 represents that man. You know what I'm saying? And the crescent represents the woman, and that star represents that child.
And what number does this look like? If this was numbers, what number would it
Clearly,
be?
the number 9, which is the highest number in the universe, and you cannot get any higher. So, in actuality, and this is something that we had to keep in attention. If you're looking at the number 7, the number 6 races. So think of the number 6. What we're thinking about is Caucasians. The number 6 is the opposite of the number 9, and which deals with life, right? Just some examples: 9 months of birth, right? And completion deals with 9. Once you get past 9, then you're at composite numbers. So you have to start over again. But the moment you get past that, the moment you say 10, you're saying 1 and 0. You're using 2 figures that you already used already. And every time you multiply the number 9 by its, you compile those digits back together, you come back to the number 9. So this tells you that in actuality, the single number 9 is the highest digit Africa, from South Africa as it moves up the Nile. And there's many different tribes and priests who still contain many of these mysteries that it goes above many of the sciences. But let's say, for example, the number 7, many of the sciences that we find in Asia and also in India, that was reminiscent of the Asiatic black man again, which when we go in India, that is their sacred number, the number 7, most prominently all throughout Indian culture.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I got you. I'm gonna finish it up, and I don't really have, but it deals with the level of ether that each particular race vibrates. Caucasians vibrate on 6 connections they have with nature itself. Response they have in nature. So 6 ether is like death. 9 ether is the exact opposite. As you go up in ether in the universe, you have a higher role and a higher connection. As you go in India, you realize that you recognize and see the evidence that Indians are more spiritual. They have more, right, than what you might see amongst Caucasian Europeans. And then even higher up, you have Africans who vibrate on the highest form of ether, or the highest form of connection to the universe, or with form of the highest sciences and the highest knowledge that was through us as Africans. Information is still retained, those mysteries and those secrets. Let's say, for example, the priesthood of Ahmaud, right? Some people want to admit that it's very brilliant, and they developed this information. Well, it had to come from somewhere, right? And we would have to admit where they were channeling information out of, right, the mental plane to the point where they could, produce pyramids and just do it, right? That's because they had a connection with nature itself, and that was called 9 ether. And it manifests in so many different ways.
Then about
it at a time.
I'm not trying to cut you through, man. Deep knowledge and everything. But I definitely you definitely got a point there, and it's a fact. The things that Noble Drew Ali, and Fard Muhammad brought, Turkey and India. You know what I mean?
What's that? What came out of Turkey?
The stuff that Fard Muhammad.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
Noble Drew Ali.
Yeah.
It goes very useful. But I think
Most definitely.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead,
just
bro.
one more cent. That's one thing I don't discount is the connection, because again, when we deal with the number 7, that's actually dealing with the Sa, right? Because really, when you tell them to link back and understand the true sciences behind the language, every Middle Eastern language, when you ask them to count, it's the word Saba, right? S-B-A. Nobody look it up in Arabic. As Saba or Sabu, and even in our language, from Saba, the city of Sheba, Ethiopia, Kush, it's also Sabu in our particular tongue.
Yeah,
so that ties in so higher sciences. So with the circle 7, that is our sciences. It's the same thing. It's not in conflict at all. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, this is my I'm again like, but being a number that's not greater than 9. So maybe I probably should have broke these supreme mathematics down. I'm just gonna make this like a long conversation. Start dealing with, start dealing with the mathematics of a number 7. Usually in terms of arithmetic, the 7 is the symbolization of God. You know what I'm saying? Like 7 days, et cetera, et cetera. Now, basically God is your supreme reality. It's your level of intelligence, your level of thinking, how far you're willing to take your mind to elevate yourself to these higher sciences, as my brother Nabat born. And born is basically the ability to birth something out of the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding and the culture that you have, something to be able to birth. Now, if you are God, if you're looking at the first, so this take a long time. Before you reach God, there's levels before you reach God. You have to go to levels 1 through 6 in your heart and master themselves. And if I go back to the flag of what True Born have on the shirt, that 7 sits above everything. God sits above everything. Everything else is considered 6 or below but being God, what you can do is that you can born something. You can born something or birth something out of yourself. You can birth something out of you. Like you alluded to a woman being pregnant. Normally, when a woman being pregnant, the baby should be in there for 9 months because that is a level of like these little they need special attention to get them to a point to where they reach perfection that they can live outside of in a specific environment. But everything that you said is right and exact. I just wanted to add on.
You know what? That's so powerful because that's you know what? This is exactly how it's supposed to play out. Pieces of a puzzle because the way our ancestors left it to us. You see what I'm saying? They left it in different tribes. They left it in different part facts. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking scientific and spiritual level. It's facts.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally going to take us coming together, literally, in the science on the table and saying, you know what? That's it right here. You know what I mean? Hold on. This piece fit right there. And that's what I have to confuse.
That's peace.
That's what you have to do.
And you know what? That was a good build what y'all just did. That's why I asked a question earlier, but I sit back and listen. I ask questions for reasons though. But that's great, man. But I wish I would have stopped up out of that. I'm gonna take the last build y'all just did about the 7 and the 9.
And send that jank to me, Stuart.
All right, yeah.
I'm gonna send it to the guys. They can be like, man.
No, look. That's just a taste of what we can do when we really come together and lay what we got on the table. Because you ask me, I know that the Moorish Americans have something to offer. I'm talking about like non-paperwork and mysteries passed down from our ancestors. The Moors some of them still retain some of these things that we have to collect, we have to get, and it has to be put together. I'm saying it's not a coincidence. I'm saying this is literally how our ancestors had to make sure that this information would survive throughout time. You see what I'm saying? They people who our people were put in slavery, and we had to migrate out of Egypt, but we still retained a lot of this information. We just had to split them up until a time where we were waking up. This is where we are. It's just literally just had to put the puzzle back together.
Yeah, with that said, let's close out.
That is the close. I look forward. Yeah. I look forward to the next discussion, family. You know what I mean? Look forward to the next discussion. And this was definitely like I said.
Yeah, that's what it is. And you know what? And with that, I'm gonna say peace and black power. Y'all closed the show out tonight. Believe it or not, I ain't gonna even get my end of remarks. Y'all ended it for me. So with that, peace and black power, family. We thank y'all for watching.